17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go.
Welcome everyone to Guy and Helmer, unfiltered, but it is always kind of filtered. I'm your host as always, Alex Helmer. With me, as always, is the great, wonderful comedian, writer, Guy Noel. Guy?
I'm doing great. I just had 3 great shows last night. I must say they were pretty fucking amazing. Yeah, with us today we have a really great roster of people. We may have a guest joining us later down the line, but at the moment we have Luke from Luke Reviews, Alan from the Film Fanatics Pod, and Nikita from Movies Without Schmovies. How are you guys doing today? Let's start with Luke and then we'll go around.
I'm doing good. I'm ready to dissect this movie. I'm sure we all have a lot to say about it.
Ant-Man's crotch is in the middle.
Yeah, Alan is embracing that.
I'm sorry.
You can stand up. You can stand up for us.
What is he doing?
A man now.
Oh, he went big.
Oh, I went so big.
Alan?
I'm doing well, man. I'm ready to shit on this movie for a little bit.
I think you're more than ready. Yeah, you're transforming into an ant, yeah. We might establish socialism here any moment, yeah.
And Nikita.
Yes, yeah. Doing great, and ready for this dissection on a nanoscopic level or whatever level.
Yeah, guys, today we have a spoiler discussion for Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. In other news, Marlowe also came out this weekend. So if you want to, we could have done a spoiler discussion on that. The film
cocaine
noir
there next week. Huh?
Cocaine maybe a spoiler. Just let us know in the comics if you want more spoiler discussion. We love doing these, and we have a great panel today. And again, guys, we'll be talking spoilers. So if you have not seen Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, leave a like before you leave and subscribe to the channel if you are new. But guys, we're going to be talking about everything Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania today. So guys, we're going to get started just with a brief question I wanted to give to you all. In one word, what would you use to describe Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania? Let's start with Nikita.
Surprising.
Alan.
One word only.
Alan, you're muted.
You're muted.
Sorry, I don't know why the fuck I was muted. Mediocre.
Luke.
Unfortunate.
That's better.
Guy.
Mid.
Good one. He shortened it down for us. I am going to go with I guess meaningless for mine. So let's go to each individual first to get kind of everyone's brief thoughts on Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania before we go down the routes of digesting every single element of this film. Nikita, we're going to go to you first. What are some of your overall thoughts on Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania and how you think you'll remember it going forward when, at the end of 2023, when we're looking at the list of movies we've seen over the year?
Well, remembering it is a big challenge because I'll probably forget it next week. I mean, as most of the MCU movies nowadays. But speaking of most MCU movies nowadays, the reason why it's surprising is because it's actually better than 90% of the sludge we've been fed in the past years. And I mean, it was shocking. I didn't hate the film, and that surprised me big time. I exited the cinema. I went to my car. I'm like, you know what? That's all right. It's Marvel, I guess. Not good. Not great, and not on the level of the predecessors, of course. Not better than the other Ant-Man, but yeah.
Alan.
I will say the only good thing about this movie is that it's better than Thor: Love and Thunder, and that's a really, really low bar.
I can agree with that. Oh, that's it? Okay, Luke.
That's it. I have nothing.
He doesn't have a lot to say.
No, I'm kidding. I don't know. I think my big takeaway is that like Nikita said, I'm not gonna remember this movie like tomorrow probably. I mean, I have to because I have a podcast to record, but if I did it, I'll probably forget about it.
Luke?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was just kind of whatever. That's what I every time I watch a movie in the cinema, I immediately on the credits, I take a picture, I post a 1-sentence thing. I wrote, yeah, that was whatever. I think that sums it pretty well. It's just kind of meh. Like, I could have done without it. It felt like homework for like the next 10 MCU movies, which is I've heard a lot of people say. But it feels like, yeah, I guess we'll get into it later, but it doesn't really stand on its own at all compared to many other MCU entries. That's what I think.
Guy?
All right, let's begin, shall we? I have to say that I really found this movie quite mediocre. I think it's really bad, and there's someone out there that I want to address. I've seen reviews that make sense to me, except for one man on YOLO Movie Reviews. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up, okay? Enough. I'm tired of seeing you kiss Marvel's teats, all right? Enough of it. All right? I don't know who's slipping you a 5 under the table, but it's not getting any respect from anyone. Stop giving this movie 4 stars. It is disappointing, and you should be ashamed of yourself. I kid on YOLO because he's a friend of mine. But I did not really what annoys me about this movie is that this movie could have been great if they just cut out half the jokes. And if MODOK didn't suck. Like those two things. Oh.
I liked MODOK.
Oh my god, really?
I'm
God.
fine with the design. A lot of people hate the design. I am fine with the design. I do not like the whole thing, the way Alex even said that the Darth Vader switch where he decided to be a good guy at the end of the movie and he did that dumb line, at least now I can say I was an Avenger. I was like, when the fuck did that ever come up in your brain? You never wanted to be an Ant-Man 1. You know, like, what? Shut the fuck up. Like, you are always a brother to me. I was like, don't do that. It's like, it's not funny. It's fucking stupid. You know, Kang was cool. You know, what about, and you know what? It's called Ant-Man the Wasp Quantumania. Where the fuck's the Wasp? All right? Where is she?
Michelle
Not-
Pfeiffer was the Wasp.
Not in this movie very much. Yeah, she's in that scene.
Spy
That's it.
Kids. 3D. Game over.
Bro, it's not just Spy Kids. It's also that other fucking Robert Rodriguez movie. Whatchamacallit?
Let's
Shark
Use
Boy
or
Lava
something
Girl.
like that.
Boy,
Shark
Boy
Boy
Lava
Lava.
Girl.
that's the OG.
You see, like MODOK. I mean, and I'm once again, I'm not trying to do it, but like this motherfucker looks exactly like this
He looks
guy.
exactly like him. It's
From
crazy.
Shark Boy Lava Girl.
But the graphics are much worse nowadays. Because, you know,
That's the
they
weirdest
only had
part.
200 million
Somehow
to work
this is
with.
better. Somehow this is better than that.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, you go.
So okay, so I'll go now. So I didn't hate this movie. I think I'd actually go slightly positive, because I think it is an MCU movie, and all MCU movies, with the exception of Thor: Love and Thunder and some other ones, some other entries, are pretty entertaining. And I found I had a good time watching this. It's going to be on the lower tier for the MCU for me, bottom 5, bottom 7, 8. I had a ton of problems with it. And I think the more I think about it, the less I like it. We'll talk about pros in a second. I did love Jonathan Majors as Kang. And I'm hearing this from a lot of people, and I definitely felt it in the theater in the first act. When he's not there and you're waiting for him to get there, the movie's pretty mediocre to bad. And that just shows how kind of worthless a lot of these characters are.
But Bill Murray's there.
Yeah.
We'll talk about Bill Murray, I guess, now. I didn't love the Bill Murray scene. I thought it was fine, but it's Bill Murray, you know?
The
And
quality
I
that
thought
Bill
he's
Murray
like one of the best comedic actors to ever live. And he shows up in this movie, and I don't think I laughed once. And he's just fine. He's not great. He's not
He would have been a
terrible. He's
better
just there.
MODOK, honestly.
Ooh.
Sure, yeah. I guess so. Anybody would have been a better motive. I mean, Corstal, I love him. I just think, yeah.
You got that
That
idea
was the
from
first
Screen Junkies.
like rumor that came out of this movie is that he was playing MODOK, and that would have been like
Oh.
at least more.
Well, no, that wasn't. No, that's not. Well, what happened was, a lot of people thought that because there was this thing, this fan cast thing that Screen Junkies used to do, and like this was a couple years back, and they said, "Who would you want to play MODOK?" And Kevin Smith said Bill Murray, and then a lot of people watched that, and then out of that, you know, they're like, maybe he is MODOK because they've said other people, they've casted other people we've wanted, you know. Yeah, but yeah, Bill Murray. I mean, it was like I was kind of like, oh, he's in the movie just like as a cameo. I don't even know what the fuck to call it. I mean, you know, I didn't understand his purpose in the movie.
Maybe he was in town. Just
Yeah, exactly. He
on the
came
day.
by. He was like a Quantum Mania pimp or something. I don't remember what he was, but he had those sunglasses and like the beat music and all that. And you know, he's kind of, and you know, I mean, yeah, he's dressed like a pimp, but like, you know, he was okay. I don't really know. You can't make a judgment off a guy who's been in the movie for 3 fucking minutes. So I don't know.
I mean, I think I could if the 3 minutes were really good or really bad. Again, it was just very forgettable. But just keep going. Yeah, the jokes were pretty bad, like I mentioned. A lot of the running gags that are mentioned, like the holes one, and the whole thing with Darren Cross. It was a travesty.
There's only
It was
one
bad.
joke. There's only like a couple jokes I liked in the. I liked your buildings are alive, and he's like, yours aren't. Like I found that funny. I liked
Yeah, a lot of
that.
the stuff was cute. Yeah,
The stuff with the aliens was cute, and then just one line when when Darren flies towards Hank Pym's ship, and he's like, my old mentor, and then he's like, what the fuck happened to you? And he gets mad. That was funny. I was like, that's actually really funny.
Darren. But yeah, the script is really bad. One of the MCU's worst. The conversations in all of the movie just feel like the same thing, where characters are going, they're playing the pronoun game, right? Where they're like, oh, who's that? And then Michelle Pfeiffer's like, oh, you don't want to know. And then it's like that's like for the entire first hour of the movie. And it's that stupid trope that you see in like the Disney Channel shows where it's like, oh, character knows something but can't tell the other characters out of kind of, I don't know, what is it, like trying to protect them from knowing, or just pure embarrassment or something.
Yeah, that was
yeah. And it's really irritating. It's like, why didn't you? Michelle Pfeiffer should have told them that there was a Thanos level threat, as Kevin Feige likes to say, right when she came out of the quantum realm. Yeah, the script, there's a lot of exposition, a ton. It's like half the movie is them explaining the rules of the multiverse, the setting, where all the characters have been and everything. And it is so tiring to hear them just spew out, oh, it means this, this, and this. And at the end of the day, there's still plot holes. So they spent all that time explaining everything. Yet at the end of the movie, I still found holes in everything they were explaining. So what's the point? We'll get to the visual effects in a second. I didn't find them to be abysmal.
I don't think
and the post-credit scenes were everybody loves the post-credit. People
5 years ago,
they were terrible. We'll get to
the post-credits.
We'll get them soon, guy. But first, before we get to that, let's just talk about pros for Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. Nikita, we're gonna go to you first. Nikita, you've been known on your account. Nikita, because you hate a lot of Phase 4. Is there anything that Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania did that diverged kind of away from that Phase 4 stuff that you didn't like, and kind of explain what that stuff was?
Look, I think what I liked about what I didn't hate about this movie is that it was quick. Like, it did not feel like a drag for me, like many of the previous ones, whether it's Black Panther or Doctor Strange or Thor, or I'm not even talking about the Black Widow and all these shits. But this one felt kind of smooth. There were nice moments. Yes, there were holes, as you said. I didn't really mind the exposition. I didn't find it tiring. But the singular moments, they connected, I don't know, in a strange way for me. And overall, as you said, the visuals, yes, some of them felt like cheap 90s sci-fi, especially when they're standing there and there's this background as if it's been drawn on Microsoft PowerPoint. It was ridiculous. But aside from that, no, this is decent. It's the one when they're
really
hands and that one. No, it's the one getting their
this one was known for being the really bad one, so that's why
There's just no depth to it because they're using the volume that they use in Mandalorian, but they're relying on it too much. Mandalorian just does it for like landscapes that have mountains far away.
Good point.
And this is like everything is right there, and you feel
I heard
flatness.
It looks like a Robert Rodriguez movie from 2005. And it's
But at least in this scene, there's like characters you can like. Looking at the guys trying to figure it out, I could not, let's say, get immersed in this whole setting. So I was looking, who is this? Who is that? Maybe this person will be relevant or not. What else? Kang was good in the beginning when they were setting up the ship, when they were building it. And this helmet is absolutely idiotic. Like, his face looks like a Teletubby when he puts it on. A blue circle. I mean, what the hell?
I'm just sick of the nano helmets.
Yeah, like
I mean, that's a character though.
Yeah,
that is what he's supposed to.
That's how he looks in the
comics.
comics.
They did it really well, and
I don't know, but the guy was menacing in the beginning when they were building this ship, and they're hearing stories and they're talking about it. But then, as soon as he gets his powers, like he becomes, as I said, he becomes like Kylo Ren. You know, he's just
Yeah.
throwing tantrums.
That's a good
He's
point.
upset. He's crying. His plans are not working, and then he gets his ass handed to him by Ant-Man, a
Oh yeah, yeah. Actually, I wanted
Yeah,
to-
I agree.
right character.
And
That's what
MODOK,
it
and
is.
don't forget MODOK too.
So I
MODOK,
wanted to
but-
talk about that real quick.
Jesus,
Okay,
man.
this was something that did bug me. He said, "I've killed Avengers
Who?
before."
Yeah.
All right.
Yes.
Bug you.
What
Yeah.
lesser Avengers did you
Nice
kill
one.
where Ant-Man fucking killed you?
You killed
I talked-
Thor,
Like,
apparently.
killed Black
there's
Widow
like a lot
50
of guys. There's a lot of Avengers that like I'm trying to figure out who the fuck did you kill?
Let me answer that
Like-
real quickly. In sports, there's this thing called stat padding, where basically players are in games just to like they score against like lesser. They don't even have to be in the game; they're in there to like increase their numbers. That's what Kang does. He goes to multiverse and kills like Black Widow 50,000 times, and he's like,
triple
"Oh,
doubles, yeah.
I've killed Avengers." Sorry,
Like,
Guy, you can go ahead.
Who is on a
Exactly.
level
My
below
theory
Ant-Man?
is for one of the Avengers he killed. There's an Avenger named Big Betty. I think he killed Big Betty. I think that's the her. There's another guy named Flat Man who's like a ripoff of Mr. Fantastic. I
Is
think
he like
killed
Flat
him
Stanley?
too. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you see this guy? I
That
think
great
he killed-
children's
me
book.
back.
I think he killed
That brings me
Flat
back.
Man
Oh my god.
and
Luke with the Flat Stanley
Flat
reference.
Stanley, the Avenger.
What
No,
a
exactly.
moment.
No, he's not wrong. I think I mean like that's what I was trying to think. I was like, who the fuck could this guy kill? Like that would actually matter. And I can't think of anyone like and how is it that Ant-Man's the guy that takes
Probably
him down?
killed Hawkeye or something.
No, he says that he like killed Thor.
Maybe
Yeah.
Hawkeye
Were you
after
the one with the
snowplow
hammer?
Maybe
accident.
Thor, the alligator Thor. You know that one.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Well, I still have my doubts. Those teeth look
Frog,
really
you mean
sharp.
Frog
Yeah,
Thor?
yeah, to handle ants.
Oh yeah,
There
it's
was an
Frog.
No, I
Yeah,
think
yeah,
it's
it's
alligator.
Frog.
It's
He said the
alligator
one with
Loki.
the
It's
hammer.
alligator Loki. That's the Loki. Is that
Yeah,
what the
Frog
alligator one
Thor.
is?
It's Frog
Yeah.
Thor.
Frog is the
That's
Thor.
less impressive.
Frog is Thor,
Can I tell you something? I don't think he killed Frog Thor. I think he killed Beta Ray Bill, the lesser version of Thor. That's my
I don't know,
theory.
that's too
I
much
think
credit.
what?
You're giving him too much credit.
I
Kang?
think so too.
What? You think Kang can't kill Big Betty?
No.
I think
Maybe-
comics can.
Have you seen
Can.
the size of Betty? I mean,
But
my
Maybe if he
God.
puts her on a treadmill.
And then any other pros from anyone kind of across the board before we get to our and we'll try to stay positive here. We'll
Okay,
save
I
that
have
for
I have
later.
some pros. I have some pros.
Okay, Alan.
The actors in this movie, even though they have to read like shit dialogue or shit exposition, they're
Especially Michael
usually
Douglas.
pretty like they're usually like they're good enough that like sometimes you forget that they're reading shit. So like Paul like Paul Rudd is adorable sometimes, which is great, and Michelle Pfeiffer and Michael Douglas are incredible. So
Yeah,
and
I would add
Evangeline
to
Lilly with,
that.
like, the two
Alex, that's
lines
from
he gave.
the last movie. Don't show us a shot from a decent movie.
I would add to that, Alan. Michael Douglas, he's the
Mike,
only
he's
one
really
who genuinely looked surprised by things around him,
Yes,
even though
he-
it's all bloody CGI. But he's like, wow, this ship.
He's a
like,
good
he's
actor.
acting, wow,
Yeah.
it's what's going on. And this was great acting for you, you know? And the other guys are just going through the motions. They're like machines, you know?
Yes.
But this guy is
Good point.
generally, wow. And I think Michael Douglas haven't seen a single MCU movie besides the ones he's in. I don't think he even watches them.
No, I
He
don't
just
think so
reads the
either.
script, okay, I do that shit. I go in, I'd be surprised by these sucking things for the flying the ship. And bravo to the guy. You know, I think the cast, the way they gelled together, is one of the reasons why I did not hate the movie. Because in many of the previous MCU films, it's just I'm face bombing the whole time. I'm like, guys, what the hell are you doing? Yeah.
No, Nikita, you're right.
Yeah,
I
dude.
honestly think that was one thing that did stand out to me when I saw the movie was out of every actor, Michael Douglas was the only one who actually gave a shit. Because everyone else felt like they were really phoning it in.
Yeah.
Like they were just phoning it in with hacky MCU acting, except for Michael Douglas. And he was really great. I think he was great. Like once again, his reaction seeing MODOK for the first time was one of the funniest, most real reactions. Like, holy shit, what happened to you? And it's like really funny because it was real and you felt it. You felt the reaction of this guy. And every other time, like Paul Rudd, I could barely buy it. I couldn't really buy it from whoever the fuck played Cassie Lang. I couldn't Like these are people. I mean, and Jonathan Majors. I think Jonathan Majors and Michael Douglas were the two best actors in this movie. So yeah.
Jonathan Majors was amazing. He was just like a victim of the shit script by the end.
Yeah, I agree. I
Shit,
love Jonathan
as always.
Majors. He was very, he was very different than the one we saw in Loki. I didn't particularly love that version. He seemed a bit too cartoony for me. This one was a lot more like I could understand kind of the context behind his situation. I could understand both his anger and both his intelligence. Until the third act, where we'll talk about later, in which a lot of that I feel like was undermined. But I felt like the performance, like you get this picture over here, like that. I mean, the guy's just really good in the role. And he, with every actor, whether that's him talking to Paul Rudd or him talking to Michelle Pfeiffer, you can kind of feel that kind of menacing, but also kind of silent mentality that he has. And I think he was definitely, I don't, again, it's really hard to talk about because the last act did a lot of things I didn't like with the character, but I can definitely say once he appeared in the movie, I think we can all agree, once he shows up in this movie, it just infinitely gets better.
It's like a finally, like we've been waiting for this part.
Yeah, finally the part that like everyone came to see the movie for, not the fucking ants.
In the visual, his costume's really nice. The visual effects involving kind of, I mean, this is really cool. I'm trying to digging deep now for pros. Any other pros that people had?
I like the ants. I wish there was more.
It ended. The movie ended. That was nice.
The ants.
Honestly, I dug the ants. I know people shit on the ants. It's stupid, it's childish, but the ants were fun, you know? Yes, the way that they all made, but the way they came up and this battle, it had like this mini epic scale and Michael Douglas marching with his ants. I mean, I don't know. I had a laugh, you know?
Yeah.
That was, I mean, the ants are always cool. The one thing that kind of bugged me was like the way they use the quantum realm to just explain shit so easily. Like they're like, oh no, that's why the quantum realm. Like they were,
it's like vibranium.
They created their own civilization because it's the quantum realm, and I'm like, fuck you. Like, I get that makes sense, but like, if you guys are just going to use that as a cheat code to explain everything for the rest of like the MCU, you guys are assholes for that.
All right.
Before just to add one small thing. Then speaking of the quantum realm, when the film started, I kept sitting and thinking, I mean, okay, how does this all bullshit make sense there in a grain of sand on the back of a flea? Like, what's the point of all this? Like, there needs to be some sense. And thankfully, in the end, with all this master plan of Kang, what he was planning to enlarge his army and just teleport him outside, it kind of made sense why he was trying to build it out of sight of everyone, like no one pays attention to this bullshit. And that kind of made sense for me, like because I thought if they would disappoint me in this way, I would have given this movie like a 3,
So I agree with what you're saying. If his army wasn't so dog shit, like
stormtroopers.
They were terrible. And I'm like, this guy. Well, I guess I'll go to cons now. So the third act, everything I was talking about with Kang, right? He's this threatening, really, really kind of he's just really threatening villain. He's been in the quantum realm for a really long time. He's been building up, like Nikita said, an army, a civilization. He has this big plan, and then he gets beaten by Ant-Man because he grows bigger. And he wasn't expecting that. Number one. Number two, who he has, like the troopers that he has, are terrible. Like how many? Drink a shot every time you see one of those guys get hit. Like, oh my god, the amount of times where it's like character A gets captured by Kang, and Kang's like, oh, take them to the jail cell, and then they're carrying like them, and then they escape and they defeat the guards and everything. It's just the same. And the third act is just very repetitive in that way, where it's like plot armor. And then the fact that he trusted MODOK as his second in command. I don't know, Kang. I don't know, man. Just a feeling that might want to choose someone else.
Why does he need a second in command? Isn't he like the most badass motherfucker around? Like,
no? He's like a secretary. Bosses don't talk.
And then also, like Nikita said, he has Captain Marvel's powers. This is not cool. He shoots beams out of his arms. There's nothing cool about that. And like Nikita said, he's screaming, he's crying at the end of the movie. I'm like, this is not a Thanos level threat, as Kevin Feige likes to say all the time. And then at the end of the movie, he loses at the end. He doesn't even win.
Listen, this all
in a hand-to-hand combat.
I know. That was something I wanted to see. I wanted to see at the end of the movie either Janet Van Dyne or Scott Lang killed by Kang.
Exactly.
Yes.
I wanted to see one of those two
Every-
because you needed to show in this movie that this was a threat. You needed to show. That's the thing that annoys the fuck out of me. Whenever Kevin Feige promises that something's going to be a certain way, and we get excited that he's finally going to go ambitious, he doesn't, and he backs off, and he just decides to just have the happy ending at the end because of the Disney bullshit. And I think that if you wanted this to be a movie where people were like, will remember it and go like, whoa.
Yeah.
You kill a lead in their own franchise. And that would have been really interesting. I think that would have made this movie infinitely better. I really do. I think if they did that,
Yeah.
people would like this movie more.
Yeah, that would have
And
been
I
big.
think
Yeah.
it would have showed he was a threat. Kang had a really cool looking design. I really loved him in the film, but like he should have. It was weird to me that Scott didn't die. Like if he said, we just both of us need to lose. I honestly felt like that line merited
Yeah.
both of them losing.
Yeah.
Where there might have been an explosion, and that would make the character of Cassie more meaningful, and that she's like the successor and shit. But now we have two of these fuckers, so we're kind of stuck with that. And yeah, and also
Enough of successors in this bullshit. That's what sucked about Phase 4. Everyone's become a successor now.
exactly.
Yeah.
And that's what kind of fucking sucks. MODOK was like the most meaningless. Like he had no reason to be in the movie other than like one scene where he says, "I am not a dick," and other than that, and that sucked ass.
And he
That
beat
was
Kang
horrible.
at the end. He's the one, when you
And
look
then
at
the
it,
fact-
he's the one who defeated Kang. I'm like, oh.
Everyone defeated Kang in this movie.
And
Except
that's
the whole
another
block
thing.
guy. I
Nikita's
think.
right.
Yeah.
Everybody beat how the fuck did Cassie Lang help kick Kang's ass when he killed some Avengers? All right. It makes no fucking sense. And then on top, oh god. And then on top of that, you're making me feel worse about saying the CGI was good. No, but you're distracting me. I'm trying to get to a point. I can't stop looking at his face. No, but on top of that, I mean, I just don't understand, why I had to see MODOK's ass in this movie. That was
Oh my
not.
God.
That was not necessary. I was like, I honestly felt violated.
But
Please
did they
don't
think
pull
it
it
was
up,
gonna be
Alex.
funny? Did they actually think that would be funny? Like, what were they thinking?
I heard
Did you
one.
actually think?
I heard one person laugh. Actually, guys, I got a great story about this film. So when the movie ends, this one person, usually people clap at the end of those Marvel movies or Star Wars movies. Somebody
You clap
one
if it's a
person-
good movie.
One person starts clapping, and then I yell out loud in the theater, "Don't do that! It's not that good."
Have some
And
self-respect.
everyone looks at me going like, yeah. Because it's fucking true. It's not. And it's like, I'm sick of these MCU people crying over everything. This movie had Scott should have died. Scott should have died. Or Janet should have died. And that would have been like a bigger fuck you because they just introduced her. And then like they're like,
Who is Janet?
Michelle Pfeiffer.
Pfeiffer.
Okay, but then
He
just
doesn't even know.
introduced her. She was there from before.
If we don't know who she is, I don't know.
no, but
Okay.
that's what I would have found interesting is that the whole entire plot of like getting her back was meaningless the whole time because she got killed. Like that would have been a big fuck you. I don't know. I would have liked to see a death other than Kang's. And we'll talk about the other Kangs soon because me and Alex have some ideas.
Yeah. Real quickly, because we haven't
God.
mentioned. So Cassie. I have a big
my
problem
days.
with Cassie. Huge problem with Cassie. A lot of people are saying they like their performance.
I don't.
I mean,
I
it's
thought it was
whatever.
okay. She served.
She was
the
fine.
purpose.
She was whatever.
Okay.
yeah.
So here's my big problem with Cassie and the conflict surrounding her character, her arc, and her relationship with her dad. Right. So this is just a hypothetical. Imagine. So I was born in 2001. So imagine hypothetically if my dad was a hero on 9/11. Right. He saved a bunch of people on 9/11.
Like Pete Davidson.
20 years later, 20 years later, I would be 21 years old, which I am now, or 20 years. And my dad's sitting at home, and I go in the living room and I say, "Hey, Dad, why aren't you saving anyone? What are you doing? Why are you sitting on your ass? What are you doing? Why aren't you out there saving people?"
I was
Do
thinking
you
about
think?
that.
What would you think of me in that scenario? Let me tell you what you think. You would be like, that person is an absolute shitbag human being. Cassie, her entire arc revolves around, my dad, he's a loser. he's an Avenger, but he doesn't. All he does is like grow
He doesn't
small. He's not that
avenge
big of a deal.
anymore.
Bro, he saved the world. He
Multiple
saved the world.
times.
He
Multiple
doesn't.
times.
He's such a fucking pussy. He doesn't avenge.
Oh my
anymore.
god! Like the levels of absurdity surrounding this character, and just the entire kind of everything surrounding kind of like her and her dad. I couldn't stand her. I wanted her to die so badly. And the fact that Kang didn't do it made me angry at him too, because I'm like, how did you not kill her? And
Can I play
oh my god,
devil's advocate here?
No,
Sure, Alan.
no, it's
A
not
little,
good
just a
enough.
little bit. I hate this movie as much as all of you do. With Cassie, I kind of felt it was realistic in a little bit of a sense of like that snarky asshole teenager that's going through that phase where they think like they're the best social justice warriors in the world, even though they're like 12. So it was slightly realistic in that sense. I know I'm grasping at straws.
I mean, I guess
here, but,
I know it is realistic, and I can. I'm not saying it's not realistic, but at the same time, she didn't do anything in the movie to make me like her. She didn't do anything to redeem herself.
But those kids are like that. They don't do
She's
anything.
like 18 or 19 years old. And also, I've seen there are other kids like Haley
The least
Steinfeld.
she can do is respect her dad.
Kids in college.
Like,
Like,
Yeah, respect her dad. Haley Steinfeld. I didn't really like her in Hawkeye, but it's not because of anything the character. It's just the writing. But at the same time, she didn't do anything that made me go, "Oh God, I hate Kate Bishop." Or what are the other kids in the MCU? Because Thor's daughter showed up for like 2 seconds. I didn't hate her. Or no, not Thor. Gore's daughter. I'm sorry.
Ironheart.
Ironheart.
Iron Shark. Yeah, I know Iron Shark.
I'm trying to name all the Young Avengers because there are a bunch of them.
the
what's her name?
Scarlet Witch twins.
Oh, Florence Pugh. She's pretty good.
Florence Pugh.
Like,
But
it's
she's
not-
not a kid.
I
She's
don't
not her
think she's
daughter.
technically a kid.
okay, whatever. But yeah, Cassie, nah. And the fact that
The
they're
kid
replacing
Avenger.
they're replacing all of our favorite Avengers with lesser versions of them. That's what Phase 4
The
and one of
20-year-old
Phase
girl
5 is
versions
going to
of
be.
them.
I think
It's
also
ridiculous.
like-
It's laughable. Anthony Mackie as Captain America is very good, but he's no Steve Rogers. He's the the only one I actually like.
He's
even
so boring.
even
He's so
Thor
plain.
is gone.
Like, yeah.
She-Hulk, let's not forget.
Ooh.
I didn't
so-
even watch that.
They're both
Yeah.
there technically.
So the only one I like is Anthony Mackie, and he's not nearly as good as Steve Rogers. So
Yeah, no.
I
I
think
think-
Natalie
I think-
Portman could have been good if that movie wasn't ass.
Here's what I
Captain
think.
Marvel too. Let's not forget.
I think it's evident that the MCU should have quit while it was ahead.
Ooh.
Yeah.
And no, I do. I think it is. And I
Be
think
careful
they
because there is
should've-
Guardians 3 coming soon. So
That's
Oh,
like
yeah.
the one reliable.
That's really gonna help. That's gonna
It will
actually,
help.
I'm excited. Actually, I'm gonna be honest with you. I did see that. I thought you said as Guardians. I was like, for a minute there, I was like, oh fuck, they're making that movie. No, but
Yeah, Asgardians.
um, no, I saw actually that was the one thing I did like about the movie was seeing the Guardians 3 trailer beforehand. No, really, because I haven't seen a movie in 3D in like 5 years. And like I forgot how it hits you in the face. And I got emotional watching that Guardians 3 trailer. I was like, I did. It's good. It's good to see in the
All right,
theater.
well.
That Guardians 3 trailer, not Ant-Man 3, but
I enjoyed the Flash
Guardians.
trailer. They showed the Flash trailer.
That was
They didn't
really
show it
good.
where I was. Fuck.
Uh,
All right. Now let's move on to plot holes.
no,
'cause
can I
you
can I say
mentioned-
one con?
sorry,
that
go
was that's
ahead.
that's like the main con for me. I
Yeah.
think you look at most of the MCU movies, like in Phase 1, 2, 3, they thought about that movie first. Like look at Civil War. It was about Steve and Cap. It's the same person. It was about Steve and Cap and
Oh
Iron
my
Man.
god, yeah, it is.
It was about Cap and Iron Man, their conflict, and then they add on like set up things for the future, like Spider-Man and Black Panther. But they focus on that movie first, and then think about the overarching element. I feel like this one, it was only about the overarching Kang setup, and the actual Ant-Man story was very secondary to
Yeah,
it. I read a thing on Twitter that originally it was partly Paul Rudd worked on a story about Ant-Man fighting MODOK and AIM or something. I think
Oh,
that would have
no.
been much better.
Interesting.
But yeah,
Wait, he wrote some of the story?
I don't know. It was
Yeah,
it
he
was
wrote,
something.
He wrote a bit on the second and the first one. This was the first one he didn't write on, and I think it's evident.
Oh, I thought you said
Really?
this was the
I didn't
first
know
one
that.
he did write on. I was like, well, lesson
And-
learned. No.
So guys, would you consider so far? Because again, the multiverse saga has been an experiment for the MCU, and we still have a lot to go. So would you say this has been a failure thus far?
Yes.
Yeah.
With an exception or two.
Yeah.
With
one,
two or
actually.
with two or three exceptions, yeah.
Spider-Man is that
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man was made by Sony, so that doesn't count. I mean,
Yeah.
Sony made that.
Nikita has been saying that
Yeah.
ever since the movie came out.
Yeah. So please, they
No,
had the
don't
characters.
give
Why
that
didn't
to
they give us
Sony.
good?
They have no idea what the fuck they're doing either.
Yeah,
But they
I
made
don't know.
Spider-Man. But they made Spider-Man.
I don't know, but at the same time, I
Kevin
can't.
Feige was the one that chose John Watts and all that, so I don't give that win to Sony.
But the reason
Ever.
why people loved No Way Home is because of the Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield. The rest was
That's
just
true.
fluff. But these were the reasons where everyone
No,
clapped.
the
and
reason is because
right
it's
in
a
the cinema.
well-written movie, which is
Yeah.
not the case for a lot of these other ones.
Yeah.
I would say it was more Disney than Sony for sure. I mean, look at Sony's track record. Do you think they would go Venom, Venom 2, Morbius, Spider-Man? No, I don't. I really doubt
but,
it.
Yeah.
but Sony owns all the
Not
rights
let
to
the devil
everyone,
in.
so it's all theirs.
Yeah, but Marvel produces it. It's not Sony that produces
Yeah.
the Spider-Man movie.
No, I think
They
it's
just picked the wrong
75,
characters
25%
because-
split.
I mean,
75 for Sony, 25 for the Marvel. That's how I think they split the money anyway.
No, they split the money that
Well, they
way.
had a
but,
big
like,
fight,
Marvel Studios
and then they sold
produces
it.
the whole movie. Sony doesn't have a say creatively.
I'm sure they have some say.
No, I think they do have says. I mean, they own the characters. Yeah, like
No, but like in the contract, they don't have to put in a lot of money, and they get like basically most of the money. That's why they don't have like a lot of
we
say.
strayed away from topic. Spider-Man was the only good thing
Oh
about.
my God.
Let's talk about Spider-Man 4. That's in
Yeah.
the news lately, right?
Yeah, it was actually. Yeah,
Sorry,
as we,
guys.
Luke,
That's
welcome Luke
way
to
better
the
movie.
show.
Yeah.
Luke, one of our guests.
What the
Luke,
hell
how are you
is
doing?
this? The multiverse? Yeah.
it's a Tyler variant. No, I'm kidding.
Oh, bro.
Luke, how are you doing today? Your first time on the show.
You're doing pretty good, man. Thank you for having me. I'm sorry I'm a bit late. I just had a little bit of work to do with my dad, so
No
but-
problem.
but
No
thank you for
problem.
having me.
Of course, yeah, we're just kind of talking generally about what we didn't like about Ant-Man, but you can just, because we're 37 minutes in, just kind of talk about your overall thoughts on Ant-Man, specifics about what you like, what you didn't enjoy as much, and kind of where, kind of, and what you think of Ant-Man, kind of what you think you'll think of Ant-Man at the end of 2023.
Well, first of all, I did enjoy this movie for what I got out of it. I mean, this was actually my most anticipated Marvel project of the year. Yes, over Guardians 3. I'm sorry, but I was more looking forward to Quantumania because this was our first like real exploration into the quantum realm, and because it's always been hinted at in the previous Ant-Man films, but we never got to like fully explore what that world is. So, and then but I thought the action was pretty well done. I liked a lot of I liked the characters, I liked the father and daughter dynamic. Things I didn't like though, I did not like some of the humor because I felt like it was just pushed in there just when there was supposed to be a serious moment, and it's just mixed in with there, and I'm just like, no, you put it in the wrong place, man. No. And I didn't care for the last few minutes. I thought they were very, very strange. 1 second here, because I'm just pulled up. And also, the second act felt like a big exposition dump to me.
Mm-hmm. So let's move on now. We were going to talk about plot holes, which we hadn't talked about yet. Luke, we mentioned it kind of before we were recording. What were some of the things, and Alan a bit, what were some of the things that you thought the movie did and that they didn't explain that you were kind of confused on?
Well, the thing that they, it's kind of like,
oh,
jeez.
I was about to say.
I knew this would happen.
Oh, sorry. I forgot.
I'm the real Luke. No, I am the
multiverse fight.
Sorry, I meant Luke reviews because they was mentioning it before.
Got it.
I think the main thing with the whole Ant-Man franchise, like the shrinking has been inconsistent. Like in the first movie, they said, "Oh, you decrease size but increase density, so you get more strength," and that just has been inconsistent ever since. And then with the quantum realm thing, apparently, if you're in Endgame, you're in there for 5 hours. If you're in this one, you're in there in real time. I don't know. If you're Janet, you're in there for 30 years and it's
Whoa,
30
whoa,
years
wait,
in real
wait, but
life.
that's the way the quantum realm works. That's
Ah,
not
of course, guy.
That's,
How could
but
I
that's
say
not
that?
a plot hole. That's,
It works the way they want it to work for each script.
and I'm
please.
not
Don't you know the
defending.
rules?
I'm not defending that, but like that is what they said. Like when I saw reviews, someone saying, "Hey, that's not how the quantum." I'm like, "Yeah, it is." That's they explained that time works differently in every. Oh, shut up, Gal. Shut up. Ugh. Oh my
I don't
God.
know.
No, but all I'm
But-
saying is that like there's it's just that's the way it works. It's different.
Wait, I'm a
Every
bit confused. So the
pocket.
time, I didn't remember the fact that it was 5 days in Endgame. So, and also the fact that, did they actually say in the quantum realm you couldn't shrink smaller than
I don't
what
know.
you are in the
It's
quantum
weird.
realm?
I thought the quantum realm was the smallest you could shrink to, and then they
Yeah.
shrink even more.
Huh.
So is there another
Probably, like,
quantum
you
realm
can't
under the
shrink
quantum
smaller
realm?
than this quantum realm.
They need
What
they need
if you
something
could-
for the
The
fourth
quantum-
movie,
quantum
right?
realm. You never heard of it?
Yeah.
Very famous place.
That's
There's
where
a second
Egyptian Kang
quantum
is.
realm beneath the other one.
That's
Yeah.
where the X-Men are. They're the
Yeah.
way-
One thing I had, and I talked to Guy about this before. It's also about the shrinking. How come the first time Scott Lang gets bigger is at the very end of the movie? Why
True.
didn't he do that at the very beginning? Just a thought. If he was
when-
like
when they're
lost,
trying to
No,
go
but
if
up
they're
to
split
the
up,
beginning.
if
energy
they're
source.
split, exactly.
In the first like 5
No, but
seconds.
he
that
caught
he's
that
in the
sun.
future.
No, he got
molecule
bigger.
shit when it was
He got
formed.
bigger, and then why he could have. There's so many other moments where he could have done that when he
Right,
was,
right.
surrounded by Kang at the beginning when they're all separated. He could have just grown bigger. And then the Michael
Hello.
Douglas would have been like, "Oh, where is he? I'm over here." Like,
Yeah.
and so that has been very inconsistent for me.
To be
Nikki,
what I've
sorry,
seen,
go ahead.
what I've seen this growing, shrinking bullshit. What I remember from the original Ant-Man is how he explained it is that when you grow, you consume all your body's energy, so you can't stay big for a long time. You need practice for that shit. So I'm assuming, So what? So the logic behind the fact that he didn't go big is that this is like your ultimate attack you save for the final boss.
Oh my
So
God.
when you're playing a game, so this is all his resources. Okay, I'm going all
You
out.
It's
get
not
one
like
shot.
it's like a video game where he's like,
I mean, if you use that logic, that made sense.
Well, also, you saw that Cassie almost kind of passed out when she went big, and she
That's
got a
right,
little
that's
like, and that's the thing. And so,
Cassie was
like,
not supposed to go
you'd
big to start
imagine
with.
him getting big during that first fight between him, MODOK, and all those guards. If he just started passing out, and all of a sudden they collect him, and he's fucked either way. I mean
that's fair.
there is,
Yep.
some logic
Well,
to that.
he got fucked and like went to jail either way. So might as well.
That's true.
Yeah, but maybe if he spent that energy, he couldn't have used that energy later.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
But if he's in the quantum realm,
Genius movie.
he's still
Genius.
really small, right?
Yeah.
Technically. So
He's got to be
Masterpiece
small.
of a script.
I don't know.
And so what did we think of because this was a big part of the film. What did you guys think of the Kang Michelle Pfeiffer flashback that we got kind of later on in the film? And did it
was
flesh out some of your questions? Did it kind of flesh out some of your questions in regards to Kang's backstory and all of that? What do you guys think of that sequence?
I
have a
like it a
question.
lot.
It works because I mean it
Did
helped
they
me
bang-
understand like why Kang was doing what he was doing, just to conquer the universe. But he even like when he said like to send Janet back home, like that like her universe wouldn't die, and I already could tell that I was like, you're destroying every other universe though. Like
My question is, why does he want to destroy the other universes? And maybe they're trying to save that
Hey,
for
hey,
later.
He doesn't
I
want
still
to
don't know
destroy
why.
them. He wants to conquer them. Okay.
Yeah.
It's
Wait.
very vague.
oh guy, hence the
Conqueror.
name Kang
That's
the
what he
Conqueror.
does.
Exactly.
But didn't you say
There
he's
you
a
go.
bad guy? Yes, I am a bad guy. Ooh, and that's it. Yeah, that should justify every motive he is ever making. Yeah.
It's very confusing because I mean, again, and there's a lot more of Kang to be seen as we saw with the post-credit scene. So maybe they'll explain that later.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Maybe.
Literally.
Kangatron. Yeah.
But at the same time, yeah, a lot of his intentions, because they were so vague, I couldn't get behind why he was doing what he was doing, especially what he was doing was building up a worthless army that was destroyed by a couple ragtag, like a whole guy, a dude with a beam in his head, generic, like what's her name, Amazonian woman who was like
the
a
name has I was cool, okay.
she was so bad.
Rip off Michelle Rodriguez.
I
That's all I could see.
I
That's
was
good.
thinking the same fucking thing. Oh my
Compare
God.
that to Michelle Rodriguez in Dungeons and Dragons, dude. It's about the same.
Yeah, that's true.
It's because I
That's
saw
true.
Dungeons and Dragons poster before the movie. I think that was in my
They,
head.
they played the
Well, Luke
trailer
reviews.
for us
I'll give you
anyway.
credit for that one. So.
Thank you.
Oh my
Luke
God.
Ponce.
And then before, because we're very sorry, Guy, go ahead.
No, keep going. Keep
So I was
the
gonna
show up.
say we're gonna head to the post-credit scene very soon, but before we do
Yes,
that, is there anything
yes.
else people wanted to talk about?
I really want to talk about that.
Yep.
We have Alex and I have some stuff.
We have a visual presentation for the post-credit
Oh,
scene.
fantastic.
But before we get, Guy, I'm gonna save them. What did you guys think of the post-credit scenes?
I think 5 years ago, I would have gone, whoa, it's so cool. But now it's like, oh yeah, that's okay.
Well, but the
I'll
thing
see it in
is,
the next
though,
one.
like, I loved what they were setting up, but because it at least made me excited for what was to come. Because, like, you guys remember the second post-credit scene in Multiverse of Madness?
Oh yes,
No.
the
It
car
It was
commercial,
all
the
for
one
a
that looked like a
freaking gag, and I was like, "What was
the
that?
key
That's
That was
good.
stupid."
It was the one that looked like a car commercial.
No, I
And he
completely
was just
agree.
like,
They
"Oh,
should do those.
Ugh,
They
ugh,
should take the piss out of the audience for staying like 10
It's
minutes
over.
after.
Yeah,
and I'm
that
like,
Captain America.
and I'm
one
like,
Oh yeah, it was
screw
with
you,
okay,
incredible.
with what's his name?
Nikita finally. He's
It's
been
the same
thinking
Raimi's
the entire
friend,
time.
yeah. With Campbell, yeah.
yeah, Bruce Campbell. Like,
Wait, I thought that was the
Mhm.
one with Charlize Theron. That was the one I said looked
No,
like a car
that's the
commercial.
first
That's
one.
the first
That's
one.
the okay. That's
That
the
was
car.
Fast Furious.
That's
that
the
was
one that
Fast
looked
and
like a car.
Furious.
Oh, and Luke's gone. And that's the one that looked like a car commercial, where he's like walking on the street. She comes out of portal and she's like,
Yeah,
I have
That's
this
the first
picture
one.
to go like, oh,
CGI.
come with me in my Honda
Boy.
Prius, and he's like, okay.
Come with
and
me
then
to the Fast and Furious universe. We're gonna do a crossover. Yeah.
Cipher.
Captain Marvel's already there, you know. Yeah.
Groot's
all
there
right.
too.
Those groups.
So, what were everyone thoughts with the first post credit scene?
First one was okay. It served like as a
Yeah.
story progression. Second one was like, what the shit?
I hate to break it to
$7
you guys
for this.
already that I was only in here for a few minutes, but I actually have to go.
Okay.
Yeah,
Tyler.
a brief
Wow.
cameo appearance. from Luke
Brief
Ponce.
appearance. So yeah, just
Back
call,
to the quantum
just call it
realm.
the
Okay,
Krylar
back to
cameo,
the-
I guess. Call it the Krylar cameo.
Bill
All
Murray
right.
style, yeah.
Alex,
Really?
you
Okay,
have
I
him back.
respectfully disagree, Nikita. That first credit scene made me want to throw up in my mouth.
I'm sorry. I'm still bringing.
Like,
up my
I didn't
visual
say it was good. I didn't say it was good. I said it served as a story progression. What I'm scared about is that they show the guy who kind of looks like Apocalypse, and by all the gods, please don't make Kang be Apocalypse and X-Men, and then recreate
Wait,
that
yeah,
whole-
yeah. You'll,
I enjoyed the various Jonathan Majors going.
I think it was all Jonathan Majors, but they were all terrible versions. Like all
Yes,
the
they were all terrible. That's my
best
thing.
version we saw die.
Yes,
that's
that's my
good.
thing.
This is
Thank
Best
you.
always
version
like
we
Thank
saw
you,
got
Alan.
beat by
And then we had,
Ant-Man.
like,
Did not die.
5,000 terrible versions of like an MCU funny thing that I hated with every fiber of my body.
Alright.
The
No,
second
I
post-
honestly I looked at it and I wanted to throw up all over Gal.
Guy,
who that
I
was
have the-
standing
Guy,
next
let's
to
start with the second presentation or the second post credit scene for what we had to say.
Okay. So I was a little. I honestly, these Kang variants look kind of funny, and like I was looking at this guy, and I realized something. Like for some reason, they made this Kang variant Frederick Douglass.
Oh, yeah,
that helped free. Yeah. I was like, holy shit, Jonathan Majors could play Frederick Douglass. If you understand. They made his hair for some reason look like his hair, and I couldn't stop looking at it. There's a younger photo of him that it looks smack like it. I was like, what the fuck? I didn't like this movie, but Jonathan Majors, yeah, maybe we will see a Frederick Douglass movie in the works.
In the MCU.
Yeah, maybe, yeah, in the MCU. This is going to be, they did Captain
That's
Marvel.
he is a
They're
variant.
going to do Frederick
Frederick
Douglass
in the
in the
MCU. Kang was actually Frederick Douglass the entire
Exactly,
time.
no, yeah.
Abraham Lincoln
Ain't
was
that a
like
mind
Steve
fuck?
Rogers.
And then yeah. Abraham Lincoln is Loki because Go to the next one.
The next
look,
post credit
it-
scene.
Oh yeah.
At
The next
same time, if
Sorry.
you
we
look
have
at
some
Samuel Jackson,
observations.
Go ahead.
Alex.
Sorry, Nikita, go ahead.
Well, yeah, Nikita,
No.
you go, and then we'll tell what we have.
If you look up Samuel Jackson from the movie Glass with all the outfit, that also fit what Kang was in the second post.
Yeah, that's
scene.
true.
I just
That's
had to-
true.
I had to double check that shit because that
It
reminded
was
me of
so
something.
stupid. And it's like, is this Kang Dynasty? That's what I was most afraid of. Is this the threat in Kang Dynasty? Like a dude
He's
with like
inventing a light bulb,
huge
you know?
beard. What was the George Lucas thing in Revenge? He looked like George Lucas in Revenge of
Show the photo.
Revenge of the Sith. Yeah, wait.
Bring out the photos, Alex.
It's just a probably direct scene from Loki season 2, and
No,
that's going to be more
Direct
set up for
scene.
Kang
It's
Dynasty.
not a
Yeah.
scene from Loki season 2.
It's
Direct
not.
scene from Star Wars: Revenge of the Sith.
Oh,
I'm not gonna watch Loki season 2. Yeah.
Put it up, Alex.
Yeah, with all this.
I'm bringing it up. I'm bringing it up. Give me a sec. Luke Ponto, though, best unfiltered guest of all time.
He was an in and out guest. You know?
All right. So this is what we have to offer. So
Okay.
that
This is one of the Kang variants right here. Fat George Lucas. Look at him. That's in Blueface. So the George Lucas fucking avatar. That's what.
it
That's
looks like Sean Connery in that one.
Yeah, I thought for a second the same. Yeah.
Okay. Now show the Egyptian thing.
So this is apparently what Guy thought of immediately when he saw Egyptian Kang for the first time. Let's play the
Hit it.
clip.
Hit it.
Oh, there's a clip.
You got a full-on presentation about the shit Kangs.
So stupid.
I want to see
Now
Kang
when
do
he
this.
was a young man, he never thought
Shit,
he'd
that's
see
important.
people stand in line to see the boy king. How you get so
This is the big
funky?
fight of the MCU right here.
Did you do the monkey?
Right here. This is all I can think of.
Alan's dead.
Now if I know that line up just to see you, I've taken all my money and bought me a museum.
I suggest the full video if you'd like to see more as
It's
Alan
really good.
continues.
Oh my
That's
god,
all
Alan's
I-
completely lost it.
That's all I could think of when I saw the
I'm fucking
Ant-Man
crying.
post-credits scene. For any of you who have not, when you see that, that's all you're gonna think of now. Monkey touch.
The
You know,
song
you're
is
gonna
stuck in
think
my
of-
head for sure now.
You're gonna be in
Oh
class
my
tomorrow,
God.
learning about
Alex, we need
materials.
to
and
do
like,
more visual
Tot-
presentations on this podcast. They're just too much fun.
Oh my god.
It's on
Okay.
Spotify.
It's on
I hope
I hope
we
it's
make
on
that- I hope
Spotify.
we make that
I'm
popular.
playing it again in my head and I'm dying.
King Tut.
Oh, it is on Spotify.
Oh shit, it is?
Yeah, it is. Yeah. It
Which
was a
movie is
big
this
song.
from?
It was a hit in the 70s.
Luke walks to engineering class listening to that song in his AirPods.
I really hope that this goes viral so we can bring that song back because that song is.
All right, so those are our thoughts on the post-credit scenes. Now, guys, I think we're gonna end it for unless there's anything anyone else wanted to mention.
Yeah, rip Luke
What are our
Ponto.
final thoughts and rating?
Richard.
That right there
Richard
was
Oswald.
better than
Richard
anything
Oswald.
Marvel did after Spider-Man.
But guys, before we end it, let's all just give our brief summaries of our thoughts on Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania as well as our rating. We're gonna start with Guy there in the bottom right.
I'm gonna give it a 7. No, that's too nice. I'm gonna give it a 6. I'm gonna have to change my score on Letterboxd. I'm gonna give it a 6.5 out of 10.
All right,
it was,
that's good.
It was
fun. I
good.
think, did we
it was,
all think it was
not
fun at
good.
least?
It was not bad.
I did not hate it. That's a
Yeah,
win
I
for
did
me.
not-
We talked a lot of negatives, but I didn't hate it. I thought it was entertaining.
Yeah.
And I did not fully
Way
despise
too
it.
much to be considered fun.
Like I did think visually it was a lot of the time it was actually pretty nice.
I love the
a lot of
visuals.
shots. A lot of the creatures that they had, a lot of the world
I
building.
enjoyed the weirdness of it.
Yeah,
but
It was
I-
very
it-
Star Wars
didn't
like.
last.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the character designs I thought were for the most part really good. As I bring up Darren Cross once again.
It's
that's the best.
it's one of the Rick and Morty writers, right?
Yeah.
So
The whole
that
MCU right
checks
now
out.
is written by Rick and Morty.
Was it the one that kept the kid,
And he-
the woman
And
in
he's
the
writing
basement?
Kang Dynasty as well.
Yeah,
Was
the
that
dude that
one?
wrote this
Oh,
movie
just
is
No, I
from
think-
Kang Dynasty.
I think it's someone else. Jeff Loveness.
Oh, he wrote Kang Dynasty.
He
Same
is-
guy. Oh,
yeah.
no.
Yep.
So do we think the villains of Kang Dynasty are going to be King Tut and George
All of them.
Lucas?
God,
It's just gonna be like
I
30 of
would,
them.
I don't know, man. I think I would like just shoot myself right there in the theater if that happens.
Bro, I think they should bring in Steve Martin as a Kang variant. All right, guys?
Yes.
Kang Tut.
It's like,
you know,
it's like
yeah.
all
Right? And he's like,
Jonathan
"Nah, nah,
Majors
nah,
and
nah,
just
nah,
one Steve Martin.
nah, nah, nah."
My God, it looks so bad.
We got it. It's so good, you mean?
You don't want no fancy funeral. You want like old King
That's how we
Tut.
should end the episode, just watching King Tut.
He could have won a Grammy.
So stupid.
It's so awesome. You don't know what to talk. It's amazing.
It's so good.
But Luke, your final thoughts and rating.
Yeah, it's essential viewing for the MCU, but you don't get anything out of it.
Yeah.
So 5 out of 10.
Alan?
You don't get anything out of it. Oh fuck.
You do get a like a weird, strange feeling.
enjoyed
that
my
you paid for
popcorn.
life and
Is
every
that- is
choice
that
you
good?
made.
Alan?
That bad? It was fine, I guess. Like Luke said, it feels like homework, but like you don't get a grade, you just get a nice little fuck you at the end. So I'll give it a 5 as well.
Nikita.
So as a notorious shitter on MCU Phase 4, honestly, this movie, like overall, is a strong 5. But the fact that the trailer, I mean, got the song, this Elton John song stuck in my mind, and I'm mesmerized by it.
Now King Tut. And now King Tut.
So I mean, I'm giving it a 6 purely because of the music. From the trailer, that wasn't even in the movie, but it is what it is. And
That
then,
was
yeah.
one of the best MCU shows. It was a real deceiver right there.
Dude, in the trailer, they made me think in the trailer that the plot of the movie was going to be Scott going to get Kang's help because of
he
time he
wanted
lost
more
with his
time
daughter.
with his daughter.
Which at least that wasn't the
Yeah.
plot.
Maybe
Thank
some
God
alliance.
that wasn't the
Yeah.
plot.
Yeah.
That could have been a lot worse. I'm giving it a 6 as well. I didn't hate it. I didn't love it. I think it's better than a lot of the trash that we saw in Phase 4. But at the same time, this is not back to some of the great stuff we've seen from Marvel. And this is Guardians 3 give me a lot of hope. But at the same time, anything after that, even stuff like Secret Invasion, I don't have a lot of faith in. So with the exception of Guardians 3, I think Guardians 3 will actually be the last hurrah for Marvel. And then I would consider everything else.
Spider-Man.
no- Did
That's
they
not
announce Spider-Man
confirmed.
4?
Well, it's
It's
gonna
not
be.
confirmed.
It's
But
coming.
And also with
Confirmed
Sony is, I think Sony.
Yeah,
is
that's
still
right.
looking to-
Sony's doing.
I think Kevin
Yeah.
Feige really needs to shake the board up again. Like when Thor:
Yeah.
The Dark World fucked up and failed, he kind of
Yeah,
changed everything
that's
up.
true.
You need to do that again because this is.
I
Getting,
think. Do
there's
you guys think? Sorry, go ahead.
there's a term when comedians tell the same jokes over and over again. It's considered hacky, and this is what the MCU is becoming, is hacky. And so you really need to change it up, reinvent it, because DC has James Gunn right now overheading it. And I'm going to be honest with you, I've become more excited
Alex, bring it up.
for DC projects than Marvel projects right now. So Kevin, what the fuck? What are you doing?
Cancel all the shitty shows, cancel all the shows, and then just focus on making 2 good movies in a year, like it used
Exactly.
to
I miss the old
Like-
formula of a couple movies, like 2 movies a year.
It's
They are
not
doing that.
pretty
it-
good.
be. Give them
They're
They're
freedom,
already
let them
scaling
write.
back on the shows.
Yeah,
There's
they're
only-
doing 2 movies, 2 shows this year.
Yeah, it was supposed to be like
2
4
more.
shows this year.
It's 2
They're
more
already
shows than
like
necessary,
six,
you know,
2.
yeah. Fuck all the shit. Who's gonna watch Iron whatever part?
Iron Heart, yeah.
Yeah.
And do you guys think Kevin Feige in the MCU will look to desperately get back past MCU heroes like Robert Downey Jr. and Chris Evans to reprise their roles?
Yeah, they're
in the
definitely.
future?
Yeah,
They
they're
have
coming
to-
back.
They're probably gonna back up like a truck of money, like in
They have to lie down flat on the floor and hopefully
Exactly.
accept. Yeah.
I honestly think that like I don't want them to bring him back. I feel like I made like after Guardians 3, I think I'm done. I think that's
yeah.
the point where I'm gonna walk away because that's the end of like every character I like.
I think a lot of people are gonna do that.
Yeah, that's the end of watching
Because
Marvel.
Endgame was the perfect ending for the Avengers, and
Really.
and then this is going to be. I think I can't keep up with this. There's too many projects now. It's gone too far, and it really breaks my heart to say it, but I have not, like, I don't feel excited about Marvel movies anymore. I used to be really excited about
Mhm.
them, and
Now it's
that
like,
used to be the
oh,
biggest thing was
another
that
one.
line around the theater, like waiting to get into an Avengers movie, and now like that's really gone because it's gotten really, the quality is really lessened in such a way. So I would have to say I think after Guardians 3, I'm checking out and I'm just putting on my DC jersey because this shit is awful.
Waller, Waller.
Exactly.
That's a
And
great show.
it started with an idea. No,
Well,
just
I'm
kidding.
sorry if you guys replaced Amanda Waller with Cassie Lang in this movie in
Oh,
in
I would do that in a
Oh
heartbeat.
my god,
Yeah,
that would be
exactly,
so
Almost.
good.
exactly. So don't
She
be
would
shitting
kill
on Waller
Kang.
right now. Don't be
She would
shitting on
kill.
Amanda
She'd get
Waller.
in Kang's chair, and she'd have
Put a
like the
bomb in
mask
his
on and
head.
everything.
Put a bomb in MODOK's head and blow it up. It'd be amazing. Wouldn't have to see that.
It would be like this image, but with Amanda Waller instead of Kang.
Oh my god.
Also, The Flash is coming up, and considering we all think that so far MCU's multiverse saga, I mean, to say the least, it hasn't been able to please everyone. The Flash, considering early reports, early test screenings, that it is going to be a giant win, giant success.
They also
breakers
got
So
financially.
good. It looks
A big
so
win.
good. That trailer.
Do you
was
guys?
They're saying it's No Way Home level. I
How?
mean, I'm still skeptical, but yeah.
And this is a big question. How important and how much of a message would it send, just to kind of Marvel in general, would it be if DC, in their first effort to kind of recreate that kind of multiverse, would be a gigantic W for them?
Well, I
With
think
Ezra Miller
DC,
as the Flash.
yeah, I think DC already had the upper hand on this, considering that, you know, they did have like properties like Michael Keaton's Batman. They had Linda Carter's Wonder. They have good old properties that Marvel for a very long time, for like the first 50, like really 40 something years it was around, was not able to sell good shows and good properties at all. But DC by the 70s, by the 60s, even with Adam West Batman, you were already selling like good properties. And so DC already had the upper hand on this multiverse shit. Marvel's only upper hand was fan casting. DC actually has old nostalgia that can really hook people in, and people are going to watch it. Michael Keaton's Batman's in it. The one thing I would say, though, is that DC really does not get as much press as Marvel. I've brought up Michael Keaton's Batman to friends of mine. They're like, he's in that movie? I didn't see the trailer. Like, I mean, like, that's, people don't know as much, even though it was at the Super Bowl. For some reason, somebody didn't fucking watch it. But, you know, I think that DC is going, I think this is going to be a big win for them because they do have the upper hand with these older multiverse characters. So, yeah.
All right. And we're going to end it now, guys. But before we do that, Guy, where can everyone find you?
Hey, you can all find me at Guy David Noel Comedy. I just actually posted a little clip about an hour and a half ago, and it's funny. So watch it. Yeah. And you can find me in Letterboxd. I don't remember the username, but you can find me there. Twitter, yeah, find me. I don't remember that one either, but yeah, you can find me.
Nikita.
Oh, you can find me at my long name to Movies Without Schmovies on Instagram. Always there to shit on Marvel, and yeah, but review good shows. I review a lot of shows as well, and movies, yeah, of all genres.
You can also find him at his cooking channel, Cooking Without Schnooking.
Oh yeah.
Cooking Without Schmovies. That was good. That was good, Alan.
Helmer, I swear to God, if you put Amanda Waller's ass in my face again, while I'm shouting out
you'd
my
like that,
shows,
wouldn't you?
He's got to toss that Viola Davis salad while he talks. It's very disappointing.
So you can find me here at Film Fanatics Pod, Instagram and TikTok, but we don't really do anything on TikTok. But like,
he just got it.
Nothing.
On YouTube, we actually have an episode of Shrek coming out in about 20 minutes. So go watch that with James from First Reviews. And
Good old James.
It's like a full hour of fucking Shrek. So
oh,
if you
that's
want to
better
talk
than
about
Full
Marvel.
hour of fucking Shrek. Wow.
Yeah.
Surprised it lasts that long.
I like that
Full
Ant-Man
hour of
movie.
Shrek going at it
I like-
for an hour.
I like that the only part of the poster is Ant-Man's groin.
I mentioned that in
Yeah.
like the first minute of this recording.
fuck. I didn't
guy.
realize it. Well,
Luke,
we got
That's
what
what
he
he
was
was backing up the whole time.
There you
yeah.
go. He's
Yeah.
line up the hand. There you go.
Oh.
And now shrink.
Oh. Now say a line that.
Oh, that's why he did that.
Yeah, I got
was
this now
so
as well. Yeah.
fucking confused. Oh my god. Wait, do it again. Do it again.
Holy shit,
He just did
Do it again. Do it again right now.
You can
Right
see the
fuck
recording.
now. No.
We can
that's
see
not
the
good enough.
recording, please.
No. A little more. Yeah, almost. Wait.
Luke, where can everyone find you?
Ah.
This
like
is more
that.
important.
Please.
You can find me at Look Reviews on Instagram and YouTube. Post on hold for now because I'm watching a show. Nikita knows very well which
Oh,
show,
yeah.
so that takes priority. But something's always cooking, just like with the chef.
All right, and you can find me as always on the League of Cinephiles on Instagram, Alex Helmer on Letterboxd as well. So make sure to follow me there for some solid reviews. Make sure to check us out League of Cinephiles on TikTok as well. Thank you to Alan, the chef, Luke, and Guy for joining me today. We'll be back to you next week with some fun movie news content. See you guys later. Ciao.
Condo me.
Big time.
Oh my god.